G'day guys, just a quick box opening video. I've just got my hands on the new BTH 35, and if you're wondering what the BTH is, the BTH is the Burris thermal handheld. Burris have released this year a whole heap of really cool new thermal products, and I'm pretty darn stoked to get this because if you haven't noticed, we've been doing a fair bit of work up on our farm lately. And one of the things that has been an issue for us is just wallaby control, wallaby and possum control, but mostly the wallabies. And we've been doing a lot of fencing, trying to fence out as many of those little critters as we can. And it's just been almost an impossible mission because we started off by thinking we could just cull them out. And although we were very successful and we were culling out 10s, 20s, 30s a night, it just seems to be that within a week there's 50 more and 60 more and 70 more and 100 more. And so fencing was one of our only options. The other issue is that these little critters are nocturnal, so they were getting used to the spotlight, and that's a real problem when you've got a farm because they know when the car turns up, they see the light waving around and they take off even before you get near them. So you can't even spotlight them to cull them. So this, I think, is going to be an answer to some of my problems up on the farm, which I'm really looking forward to getting this out and having a go at. So what is it? Well, it's Burris's new entry to their thermal line. This is a 2021 release. And they have put these out, there's a number of different items. I'm pretty sure, like this one's the handheld that I've got, but there's a scope attachment as well for existing rifles, and then there's just a standalone scope model as well. From what I've read so far, I believe all of them can record, which is really cool because I do like recording all the stuff that I do, and obviously to share with everyone as well, which is good fun. But anyway, let's have a look. So the box, obviously just a pretty normal box. Burris always paint everything really well. You've got your little user manual here, which gives you all your specifications and details about what it does. I believe this one here is the BTH 35. I've only used it inside because it only just arrived. So, you know, I've looked at my toes and stuff like that. They light up really well. And checked out the kids in thermal and everything else, which is really cool. Probably scared the neighbours a little bit by standing out in the balcony. But, you know, it operates really, really well as far as I can see. But I've got to get it out the bush yet and really have a go at it. But in the box, you've got your manual, so that gives you your general instructions about what you need to do and what you need to know. You've obviously got the thermal device itself, which really, really cool little device. It's nice and light. I mean, I think it's got to be, you know, it wouldn't even be a half a kilo. So I reckon about 400 grams or something like that, but I'll weigh it once I do some videos with it out and about in the wild. I'll do another small little video as a second part of this, and I'll give you the weight and dimensions and stuff like that. But it's got to be, I don't know, 200 mil in length, and I reckon about, you know, under half a kilo in weight. So it's a nice little compact unit. One of the first things you can see is you've got a whole row of buttons on top. You've got obviously the ability here to change your focus for your own eyes and whatever else, to focus the objective. Now this thing, I believe, will go thermal out to about 750 meters, which is pretty cool. You've got your charging ports in here, which has the what's it called? HDMI, or sorry, USB-C or whatever it is, the fast charging. And there's a cord underneath here. So one of these fellas, you know, the really fast one, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and one of the things that I think is also really good is you've got your tripod mount, which there's not enough gear out there that includes something that simple. The tripod mount's really good. So if you're sitting there with your rifle at night, which I intend to do, I can chuck this on a tripod. I can record where everything is. You know, flick on the spotlight and bang, give them a bit of a hello with some copper friendlies. Anyway, so you know, that's the little unit. I believe as far as the buttons are concerned, the big red one is the on one. Also would double as the off one. You've got these like two sets of arrows here. From what I've seen, one of them sets your color palettes. So you've got white hot, you've got black hot, you've got iron and red hot is one more. I think it's a blue or something like that. Anyway, I found the iron one really, really good for mucking around inside. You've also got the ability to like do thermal tracking with it, which is pretty cool. I've only played with that a little bit, but it was interesting. You got a full 35mm focal length, so that's really good as far as your recording and stuff's concerned. And your eye relief on this is about 10mm. You've already got a safety cap on it, so that comes with it, which is really good. And of course, you got your ability to focus out here as well. So you've got your eye focus and then your optical focus. And yeah, and then you've got your little recording button here, which again, I've only kind of mucked around with this a little bit. So I found that one press kind of turns it on, and then another single press will take a photo, but a prolonged press of like a second or two will start the recording, and then it just keeps recording. So you just let it go and it'll record until you press the button again and it stops recording. So, you know, it all looks to be exceptionally good as far as, you know, how robust and how workable it is. The actual hardiness, I mean, it feels solid, you know, which is good, because if you're going to carry this thing around at night in the bush, you know, at times it might end up sitting on the ground and whatever else, and you don't want it to get knocked around too easy. You want it to be relatively solid, and this thing feels like it's built well. So that's another bonus. But, you know, I've found with almost all the Burris products that we've been knocking around with, you know, they are really, really solid gear. So, which is great, and gives you that kind of, you know, almost, you know, what you'd consider your lifetime, you know, capability to use. I don't know about these digital products. I mean, obviously all digital stuff is fallible in some way with their batteries and operational stuff, but from a hard case point of view, this thing is dead set solid. Your working hours, now, like what I read online is it says these things will work about for about 5 hours straight. I don't know whether that includes recording or not, but I'll play around with that when I do the field review, and you'll be able to see that in the next video. The rest of the stuff in the box, it's also waterproof, so which is obviously a great thing when you're out at night and everything gets wet, which happens here in Tasmania quite a lot. So in the box as well, you know, I always like the fact that they, you know, they put in some really, you know, sensible stuff. Like there's just a sock to put it in, keep it safe, keep it dust proof. You know, it's one of those neoprene kind of socks, which is good, a little bit bang resistant. Of course, I told you about the fast charging cord. And what do we got in here? We got another box in here, which we'll have a look at. So that's all straps and leads, and let's open it up. So yeah, nice leather strap. Guess to hang around your neck if you want to. I usually don't bother with that kind of stuff, but you know, some people probably do. What else is in here? Oh, your normal USB charge. So you've got two types of charging, and obviously this will do fast transfer as well. So super fast transfer for your videos as well. So, you know, you've got all that kind of gear there ready to go. So, you know, ultimately, really good unit. Resolution on this thing is 400 by 300. And your magnification is 2.3 to 9.2 times. So you've got a long way you can stretch this thing out, or you can bring it in nice and close, which is great. I guess from my point of view, straight out of the box, I was really happy with the resolution and picture that I was mucking around with last night. I was happy with the options for time stamping and how you could move that stuff around, because that's a little bit important for us, maybe not for everyone, because if we want to record and know when we took that recording, we've got that detail there. Also happy, like I said, with just the inbuilt covers and stuff like that to protect it, and so it'll age well, you know, over time, because I bang my gear around a bit. And I guess one of the number one features out of this is just having that that point there, so I can drop it into a tripod and use it really steady to get some really good recording out of it, which I think will be great. But it will be really interesting to see this thing get stretched out and how well it works in the bush. I've read a fair bit of stuff online, and you know, I've had another thermal, and I won't tell you who it's from. It's not a Burris thermal, and I was quite disappointed with it. But I can already see this thing is going to be really, really handy, especially in the thicker bush areas on our farm. So I believe that from what I've read, you can use it in daylight as well, and it will still pick up a lot of your animals and stuff like that out there. So bush hunting should be a lot easier for these kind of animals that I need to cull, and so it should be a good piece of kit. So I guess, why would you use thermal? I mean, at the end of the day, for us, it's about animals learning what we do when we're trying to cull them. So you can spotlight every night of the week, and what you'll do is you'll teach the animals you're trying to cull not to turn up when they hear the vehicle, or not to turn up when they see the light running backwards and forwards. And you still need to continue to do that to try and keep the animals off the crops, you know, and keep them from breaking fences and all sorts of other things that they do. And just that general conservation control for animals as well, that are in a very, at a level where their population is very high. And we do a lot of that on a number of different farms. So for us, this is really an effective tool for us to use to get out there and try and find those animals, and do it without a vehicle. And we can sit on a hill and actually, you know, wait for them with a remote spotlight, a battery operated spotlight. We can hit them with the thermal, find out where they are, one blink of the spotlight, and bang, they're gone. One level up you can get from this BTH 50, and you can check out the specs on that yourself. But you know, from my current findings on kids running around, my current findings with this one is that it's a good piece of kit. But let's get it out in the bush, check it out, and actually find out how well it runs. And at that stage, we'll hopefully be able to show you the results of a number of wallabies no longer attacking my crops. Anyway, keep hunting, hunt well, and use whatever gear you can find to help you out, I guess. But the Burris gear for us is working like a treat, so we'll stick with that. Thanks, guys.